So good morning or good afternoon or good evening wherever you are in the world. Talent Finders podcast would like to introduce artist, designer and entrepreneur Ben Bonart. So welcome, Ben.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
So Ben, firstly, obviously, congratulations on all your achievements. Can you please share with our audience how your journey started as an entrepreneur and an artist?
Sure. Well, I've always been creative. I spent my career working in brand design and advertising, and the creative part of the process was always my favorite. So instead of, over the years doing projects and creating visual designs for others, I decided I would do it for myself and create my own brand and start creating my own art.
Oh, okay, perfect. So having had a successful career as a designer in the advertising industry, what compelled you to leave and go full-time into fine arts?
Well, at a certain point in my life, I asked myself, what is it that you love to do? Because the old saying, as you know, is if you do what you love, you never have to go to work.
Yes.
So I started painting, and I realized that seemed like a few seconds was really a number of hours. And I looked outside and it was dark out, and I realized that this was something that was really passionate about and enjoyed doing.
So when creating your artworks, where and what is your inspiration behind your pieces, and what is your process when creating each piece? Is it a theme-based, or is it just an organic process for you?
Well, I would say both. Sometimes I start out with something specific and start creating it and building it, and other times I just start applying color and things happen. The curious part is that it really never turns out like I imagined either way. So the whole experience is, seeing it evolve and just being amazed at what happens. Sometimes I can't believe that I even did it and don't know how I did it.
Yeah. Well, it's just obviously it comes to you. So, yeah.
Well, when you mix your colors and you start to, see it applied to the piece, it takes a life of its own, really. And I have a big joke around my studio is that we never know when something's finished. It's the same in design. You can always keep adding to it or refining it, or every day that you look at it, it's, something, you see something different or where you've made a mistake. Obviously, no one sees that but you.
Yes,
but
of
that
course.
lives with the piece.
Yes, absolutely. So having worked in the advertising industry, would you say that this has helped you in your entrepreneurial journey, and what do you believe to be different and unique about your style of art?
Well, gosh, I over the years have been blessed to have worked with so many rock star creatives, from designers and artists and writers, creative directors, producers, that you absorb. Everyone has a different way of approaching things, and it's not always a seamless process, if you will, but just the experience of starting from nothing and creating something that evokes an emotion in someone is just an amazing experience. So when I create in a brand or work on a piece of artwork, it's the same kind of process or approach that just allows you to just bring joy out of the thing, and then express either a message or an emotion or a feeling. And that's what I try to do in my work, is create something that makes you smile, makes you feel good.
Yes, absolutely. So what have some of your biggest lessons and learnings been through your career?
I guess the biggest lesson that I've learned is that there's no such thing as a mistake.
True.
There's poor judgment, there's bad choices, but they all contribute to a better end result in my mind. And I think if people embrace that kind of thinking, then we all spend a lot of times beating ourselves up about things that went wrong or could have gone better, let's put it that way. But when you sit back and look at it, it's really just a part of the journey, and it's not worth the time to find anything positive, result from it.
Yes, exactly. So art is very subjective. How, as an artist, do you differentiate yourself, and how do you value your art in terms of selling your pieces?
That's a good one. Well, art and design create an experience, as I said before. It's different for everyone. My art celebrates color, really, and is intended to make the viewer feel good, see something different every time they look at it. As I said, make you smile and make you enjoy it because it's a piece of your life.
So what would you say some of your biggest career highlights have been?
Usually my latest painting is always my best in my mind. I don't know if it's like that for everyone. But I would say, besides my children, actually being recognized as an artist.
Yes, because that's a very tough thing, especially in such a competitive industry.
Well, it's hard from the from the outside, as well as in my own mind. People say, "Oh, hi, you're the artist," and I look around and see if they're talking to someone behind my back. So, I needed to spend a lot of time sort of recognizing what I do and appreciating it for what it is. I had an older artist, accomplished, semi-famous artist, once tell me that he pointed to my art and he looked at me and said, nobody else can do that. They can like it or not like it, or comment on it or critique it or ignore it, or all of the above, but they can't do it. Only you can do that. And celebrate that, because that is what makes you tick. So I think for all artists, there's a bit of insecurity. Can we go with that?
Yes.
And entrepreneurs. Yeah. And, you need to really work through that and accept it for what it is. It can always be better, and you're always trying to make it better, and it evolves as you grow, but each stage of that growth has value.
Yes, of course. So your art is inspiring and the colors you use are bright. What is the specific reason for the use of these colors, and if so, can you elaborate?
Yes, no. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm inspired by color. I remember when I was a teenager, I went out and bought some dark blue, French blue paint and painted my room, walls, ceiling, windows, everything this dark blue. And I had these 3 posters that I had purchased. One was called The Endless Summer, which was the day glow bright colors. Another one was the poster from the play Hair.
Yes.
And another one was a Vasarely, who was an artist that did geometric shapes and bright colors on black.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just is something that has stuck with me, and we all need a little color in our life, no?
Absolutely, especially in the current climate, for sure.
Absolutely.
So I see you've been commissioned by some big corporations. Can you share with us how this came about, and has this opened other doors for you in terms of your business?
You know, as with everything else, being an artist is not just painting pretty pictures.
No, of course not.
So as a matter of fact, that's the joy of it. But realizing your objectives and your goals with it are as much part of it as creating it. So through my years in marketing and advertising and branding, I was able to understand how to market and merchandise a brand. And part of that for myself is reaching out to all of the possible audiences that will not only appreciate it, but either purchase it or license it or find a way to capitalize on it and monetize it.
No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. So that leads me into sort of the marketing aspect of things. So social media has obviously changed the way in which we market and storytell. Has this helped you in terms of exposing your art to different markets? And if so, do you have any examples?
Well, yeah, social media is a huge part of it. It is an opportunity to expose your brand and your personality and your reason for being to the world.
Yes.
I have been, it gives you a chance to test and to learn and to create engaging content. I've been blessed to have a relationship with the folks over at VaynerMedia and the Sasha Group, who are the champions of social media and have helped me to apply my ability to create content, not only for the art that I create, but for social media in a way that it engages people and turns them onto my work and what I do.
Amazing. So that leads me to the next 2 questions, or last 2 questions, which is, what are the 3 key pieces of advice you would give to other entrepreneurs, and what legacy would you like to leave?
Well, I think for other entrepreneurs, what I've learned is to listen, to learn, and to not be afraid to fail.
Yes.
I think those are actually the attributes of social media as well. You need to listen to what the market is saying or your audience is saying. You need to learn from that, and you need to try everything you can to communicate and engage with them. And what doesn't work, and what does is great, and you build on that. So I think it's a lesson not only for entrepreneurs, but for life. As far as my legacy, I would say in a word or two or three that I touch people's lives.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ben, and for for sharing your story, and hopefully we can have you back in the future and see where you are and what you're doing, and if there's any exciting projects you're working on in the future. And just to ask you, how can people follow you on social media? If you could just share your social media handles, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter.
Are you on Instagram as well?
Instagram as well. Yeah,
Okay.
just do Ben Bonart. It's at B Bonart on Instagram, and Ben Bonart on Facebook, and obviously Ben Bonart on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time, and look forward to seeing how you progress and having you back in the future.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it. Also, you can get me at benbonart.com.
Oh, great. Perfect. Thank you. I'll be sure to share that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.